expenditure. I think it can personally wait. It works for me. I don't have a problem with it. Anybody else have a comment?
You are going for the mayor.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. All right. Vice Mayor, do you have any comments?
I think I'm for this. I think we get stuck sometimes. I have a lot of budget experience and financial experience over the years. The first account that I had in 2003 that I took on for the West Coast was a $55 million account. You have to learn how to look at the right numbers, the zeros. When we talk about doing a parade, or we talk about fixing up the council chambers or putting in this new technology versus fixing JCPenney's or putting in a community center or putting in a library, there's a big chasm between the big items and the regular items. And so if you take $10,000 to do a parade, how many times can you do a parade before you get to $1 million? It's 100, right? So we could have 200 parades or fix JCPenney's. We could have parades for the next 20 years. So the point I'm trying to make here is when we talk about budget, we need to have perspective on the number of zeros that we're talking about. You know, you do this at home when you're having a birthday party with your kids. It's okay to have a birthday party even if you're having trouble financially, because it's not that much money. I'm not saying that some things are not a lot of money, but what I'm saying is perspective and priority. So when we say we're going to do some things to support our kids or make sure we have a parade and make sure we have a duty as a city council to go out there and provide for the civic experience. And so I think we get hung up on the pettiness of the money because I think people aren't understanding the conversation properly. When you look at the fact that this city is $50 million behind on its pension, if we don't change the course of the city, the people are not going to get that pension money. And if we have to continue to put $6 million a year in that pension fund just to keep it status quo and not get ahead, think about what $6 million a year we could be doing with. So there's structural issues that we talk about with the city are in a complete different universe than the petty issues that we continue to hear from people on Porterville First and FYI and these little political agendas. We're going to have parades. We're going to build stuff in the park, and it's not going to break the bank because we need to be working on big items like community centers and libraries, and we need to be we're looking at a $60 million bill just to look at denitrification, and we're looking at maybe a $200 million bill to try to change some of the things in public works. Those are big numbers. Those are the things we're concerned about up here. And I think the public is kind of got a perception that if we remodel this area or we have a parade that it's going to break the bank. That's not the case. Never has been, never will be. So I just want to make sure that everybody kind of gets a basic understanding of the perspective of the structural issues. And when I said there was a $13 million structural issue in the city, it was because they were not paying $1.3 million a year for 10 years that they should have been paying. And now the golf course, because we didn't pay for the golf course for 10 years, now we're going to pay back that 10-year deficit at $100,000 a year. Now it's going to take 30 years to pay for that 10 years that they didn't pay for the golf course. And that comes out of now. And so we robbed the future to pay for the present, or however you want to look at that. And that was where the deception of the last period of leadership in the city was. And so as we uncover those structural issues and we say, wait a minute, we have to change our course. We have to be innovative on things so that we can make sure and we can deliver and the city can continue to pay its pension and keep the parades going and then build the denitrification facilities if we need to. That's what the budget concern is about. It's not about whether we had a parade or whether we're going to remodel this area. And it's not a lot of money. And I do appreciate the comments, though, that Mr. Beltran makes, because he's saying, let's make sure we do it at regular wages. Let's not kill ourselves. And I love the idea that we could use the schools and the pathways. Great ideas. And I think Councilman Beltran and I share this. We talk about finances off and on. And I think that that's the perspective that maybe doesn't get across, and it's certainly manipulated in the media. So I just want to get on record and say what that is. Not in the paper, because the paper won't report on it, Alexis, but at least on FYI and Porterville First, they manipulate it. I didn't want to go on a tirade, but I just felt strongly about putting that on the record, and I'm definitely going to put this forward, but I don't want to pay prevailing wage. And so if we can be creative on how we get that done, that's what I'm voting for.
Okay.